President Obama has nominated Elizabeth Warren to be the head of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Kind of. Mm-hmm. But we're not really entirely sure if that really happened or not. We're going to get into his explanation in a second. But already the Republicans are on the attack. Okay? So Judd
That's a good
Gregg,
sign.
Yeah. Well, it is a good sign. That means you got the right person. Senator Judd Gregg from New Hampshire, who Obama, remember, was going to make his Commerce Department head.
And who took the job, like, Larry Brown, for a couple hours.
Yeah. He's gone on the warpath, as usual, against Elizabeth Warren. Let's listen to his comical complaints. Clip number 7.
What do you make of this choice for the new Financial Protection Agency?
Well, first off, I think it's a terrible adulteration of the process. This position, as it's structured in the financial reform bill, is going to be one of the most powerful positions in Washington. It creates a person in charge of an agency which is going to have almost $1 billion budget, which is not overseen by the Congress. All the money flows into her accounts without any congressional oversight. The only time that Congress has any input, or the American people have any input on whoever gets appointed to that position, is at the appointment time, and then they get a 5-year term.
What is your concern about what she would do?
My concern is that she would use the agency for the purposes of promoting social justice versus for the purposes of promoting better credit and having a stronger financial system. When you separate the credit process from the banking regulatory atmosphere, you're creating a basic conflict there. And if you got somebody who's in charge of who's going to have to supply credit, who's got a social justice agenda versus an agenda of actually getting credit out to people who can pay back and making sure that those people are told what the cost of their credit is, you've got a problem for the banking system, and we've already been through a banking system problem. We don't need another one.
Social justice? No! We don't want that. No, that would be terrible for Americans. Now, I mean, get a load of all this. First, he's like, oh, all this money flows right into her accounts. As if like she's going to take it home. Right. No, she's supposed to be looking out for us. She's the one regulating. This is what's going to happen. She's going to be like, hey,
Elizabeth Warren.
It's cool, it's cool, it's cool. No big deal. No big deal.
No, I was just moving it to another part of the office.
Yeah, come on, man. And then, second of all, he says,
By the way, this is isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah, so I don't think she'd have taken that.
Yeah.
There's much better catch out there. So now, the real thing that she's doing with that so-called $1 billion is she's looking over stuff, okay? So she's making sure that the banks aren't robbing us. She's looking out for social justice in that sense. And he says, look, this is going to, not going to create a better credit in the country. But we gave all the bankers all the money without any checks and balances. And did we get credit flowing in the country? No, we didn't. We got the exact opposite because we didn't look over their shoulder. And then at the last part, for him to comically come out and say, we had a banking disaster, and looking over to see what the bankers are doing to make sure they don't crash the economy, well, that would cause another one. No, that would prevent another one.
Yeah, getting credit to, we want to make sure we get credit to the people who can pay it back. Does he not get it? Newspapers in New Hampshire? Is that because we can probably fix that? We could get some sort of service that delivers newspapers or the internet to people in New Hampshire, and maybe that'll solve the problem. Because, if I'm not mistaken, the crux of the problem was that the banks gave loans to people who couldn't pay them back. And then they sold those loans to other people, and nobody cared whether it was going to do it. It was like, the credit ratings are awesome. Who cares? Doesn't make any difference. So the problem was we gave credit to people who couldn't pay them back. And now we've hired someone to make sure that doesn't happen, and he's complaining that the danger is that we will give credit to people who can't pay it back. I believe I'm not even paraphrasing. That's exactly what he just said.
Now, look, the whole Republican Party is nothing but an excuse to go look out for the rich, Wall Street, and bankers. That's not, that's not some political statement. It's just, it's a fact. I mean, look, she's hired. It was her idea in the first place to do an agency that looks out for you, the consumers, right? They despise that. To the core of their being, they hate that. They said, no, you don't look out for consumers. That's goddamn social justice. No, you look out for the bankers, okay? Right, and you make sure you get more money going to the bankers without any rules or regulations.
If the system works right, if capitalism works right and the loan process works right and the banks sort of make the profit they're supposed to make and the loan process works right and money is lent to companies companies then expand their businesses and hire people, then it filters down and it helps out consumers. That's the Consumer Protection Agency, banks.